I come from a Muslim background and I went to a school where a lot of the students were from the Asian community. You had to be more cautious about what you said back then and like how you acted and like I guess you didn't want to provoke anything, so it was a taboo to like say anything about the bombs or like 7/7. And when you did get reminded of it, I guess everyone kind of just looked towards the Muslims thinking, oh, it was their fault, it was them. But I think the fact that everyone did that was a really ignorant thing to do, because it was only a small group of people in that whole community that did it, but it was affecting the whole of everyone that was in that religion.
I come from a Hindu background and I went to Cranford Community College. I remember thinking that this is going to affect me. People are going to look at me as an Asian and think I'm Muslim and I was thinking I'm not Muslim. I don't want anyone to think that way, and I think that's partly built up from my parents' generation, who've come here and have tried to make a way for themselves and make a way in society to integrate into society. And now after 7/7, it was a shock that this integration that they've built is blown away. And people like my mum was like, well, I'm not a Muslim, I haven't done that, why should that? I think we felt like that would affect how we were presented in wider society.
My class was made up of a mixture of students, predominantly Asian, Muslims, Hindus, Sikhs, and I was one of the few white children in my year. We all came back from work experience and the atmosphere was different. I mean, it was very close to the time and we're not far from the airport, so everyone was so worried that we were too close for comfort. And you could feel a change in the atmosphere, and I don't know if it's something that I never picked up on because I was so used to being in a multicultural environment, but you did see people making inappropriate jokes and people becoming more wary of them. You saw like some Muslims, trying to be different and trying to sort of not hide from their culture, but they try to make it very clear that they're not an extremist, and they'd go out of their way to do that. And like Hindus and Sikhs, I've never known them before to want to make it so apparent that they're not a Muslim, and that there is differences in the Asian culture. And it was a very tense time because there was so much accusation, like in the media and all that sort of stuff, and you did sort of feel like Cranford was under a spotlight.
I know a lot of people were very worried about what other people would think, because I know across the country it was, especially in the newspapers, there was a lot of kind of racism going around, especially towards Muslims. And I know like a lot of people were trying to segregate themselves from like the extremist Muslim community and like just trying to blend in rather than stand out. And I guess at Cranford it was easier because there was a lot of Indian people there, but when you went further out, I guess people got more worried.
We didn't see ourselves as a collective Asian community. There were segregations based on British Muslims or British Sikhs or British Hindus, and I think it just happened in that people had to make this group to make it aware that they're not a terrorist. Like, you shouldn't see me with this group because I'm not a terrorist. I think it became really important to prove your non-terrorist identity.
I do think that a lot of people are more open about prejudice now because they think that they can turn around and go, well, there was the bombing, and people do use it. But I do think that the segregation's going to be there for a long time.
I think there will always be a stigma attached to it until, I guess, it's resolved, if it ever will be. And I guess now for me, I'm kind of removed from the community because I'm in university in a different town, and it's much, I guess people are a bit more accepting now than they probably were before. But then like you still have all these stigmas with the immigrants and stuff coming in, so I think there always will be because everyone has prejudice.